Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. This is massive. What you're about to watch and what you're about to comment on is as big as the Super League, I believe, and I think you will believe as well, as Wolverhampton Wanderers have submitted a resolution to remove VAR from the Premier League from next season. We need to get this right. Clubs and fans need to unite and we have to get this right. Now I'll read what Wolves have said. There's a multitude of reasons why they want it to be switched off. But we've been talking about this all season. You've got to get your comments in below. And whoever you support, this is about your football club and whether they listen to you or whether we do actually get treated like mushrooms and fed on shit and are actually being dictated to about our game. It is not Manchester United and it is not Arsenal that really suffer from VAR. It is you, the fan, the match-going fan who is sat there absolutely clueless, the fan at home who sees the replays and can't understand why people aren't seeing what we're seeing. I'm going to shock you straight away. That was a penalty on Anthony Gordon last night. It was a penalty, and I'm a Man United fan. Just the same as it was a penalty when Romero handled Garnacho's shot at the start of the season. Countless times. It's not just Wolves, it's not just Manchester United, it's not just Newcastle, it's every club in the Premier League that has been impacted by what can only be described as incompetence. It needs to be switched off. And you know what? To anybody who comes back with the argument in the chat, which they will do, we don't need to switch VAR off, Mark, we just need better people. Can we wake up? That is not an argument. That is not a solution. To sit there and say we don't need to switch VAR off, we just need better people, is an excuse for the people who are running it. It is a good bit of technology, I would agree, and I think many people agree that the technology is good, but it is not fit for purpose, and you are not going to change it in 2 months before the start of next season. So for all those people saying, let's not switch it off, let's work on making it better. So basically for the next few years in the Premier League, we're just going to put up with this as people maybe work out how to work it out. What they should do is switch it off for the betterment of the game and then work on it in the background on the mistakes they make in some sort of research centre where it doesn't damage the Premier League. I wouldn't get rid of offside. I wouldn't get rid of goal line technology. But everything else, handballs, red cards, get rid of it. Get rid of it completely. Penalties, the lot. Just go back to what they've got in the Championship because it's destroying the game. Absolutely destroying the game. And anybody that is saying, no, let's not switch it off. Let's keep it how it is and work with it. It's ridiculous. It's like being in an unhappy marriage and trying to make it better. Actually marry the right person in the first place. And this VAR was never fit for purpose. And the hilarity of listening to people say, let's not switch it off. Let's work what we've got. You're just being sympathetic. We're not a charity. It's meant to be the best league in the world. What do you think is going to happen next season? They're going to sack 60 people and suddenly work it out. I mean, I have a solution. I have a solution how to make it work. And we can talk about that in a moment. But we're talking about what Wolves have said. So what they're saying is that they want to... the introduction of VAR in 2020 was a decision made in good faith and with the best interests of football and the Premier League at its heart. However, it has led to numerous unintended negative consequences that are damaging the relationship between fans and football and undermining the value of the Premier League brand, which include impact on goal celebrations, on the spontaneous passion that makes football special. Yes. Frustration and confusion inside stadiums due to lengthy VAR checks and poor communication. Yes. A more hostile atmosphere with protest booing of the Premier League anthem and chants against VAR. Yes. Overreach of VAR's original purpose to correct clear and obvious mistakes, now overanalyzing subjective decisions and compromising the game's fluidity and integrity. Yes. Diminished accountability of on-field officials due to safety net of VAR. Yes. Continued errors despite VAR. Yes. Disruption of the Premier League's fast pace with lengthy VAR checks. Yes. Constant discourse about VAR decisions. Yes. Erosion of trust and reputation. It's absolutely terrible. And Wolves have nailed every single thing. If we had all those things back, football would be better. Absolutely better. And look, I'll state this. The most important thing to take away from this video, as far as I'm concerned, is it's not fit for purpose. It might be fit for purpose in 2 years if they go off and work on it, but it's not fit for purpose. And this Premier League has been the worst Premier League season we've ever had in relation to officiating. It's been a disgrace. From Liverpool having onside goals not given, for Arsenal losing points in a title race for a shove in the back, for penalties like that last night not being given, handballs given, red cards not given. It's a joke. It's a sham. Goalkeepers can be barged and then 2 months later they can't be barged. It's an absolute disgrace. And I'll tell you what, whether you're a Wolves fan, a Man United fan, a Chelsea fan, if your club goes into that meeting in June and votes to keep VAR, who are they and what do they think they're doing? This is your football club. This is you who suffers. It's not gonna be Chelsea that suffer. They'll still get their Premier League money. What do you think? They've got to think of the fans. These clubs are dead without fans. You're not making any money. No brand is sponsoring you if you haven't got fans to buy that brand. No club is surviving if it hasn't got fans buying shirts and merchandise and tickets. This is about the fans. And fans need to vote with their feet on this and their voice. You've got to have your say. And to every fan that is saying, we don't need to switch it off, listen to what Wolves have said there. Think of all the mistakes this season and tell me that will change in one summer. They need to switch it off for the integrity of next season. They will not solve the problems in 2 months. They will not sack the people. It'll be Michael Oliver, Anthony Taylor and all the rest of them being told to do a better job. And we will get the same issues next year. And don't say you haven't been warned. And the great thing about this letter from Wolves is we've all moaned about the PGMOL and we've all moaned about the Premier League. Wolves have now put it in the hands of the Premier League clubs. If the Premier League clubs vote to keep it, they're voting with the PGMOL. They are voting with the Premier League. And then the clubs become the enemy of the fans because the clubs are voting against fans and the betterment of what we're getting, which is an absolute shit show. An absolute shit show. Right, this is how it should be solved, right? Yes, keep offsides. Yes, keep goal line technology. Look at Anthony Gordon last night. That's a penalty. It didn't look like a penalty. I've got no issue with the referee on the pitch. Did not look like a penalty to me. But when I watched it back, I saw that Amrabat trips Anthony Gordon before Casemiro makes the tackle. And that's what VAR should be there for. If VAR is not going to... What is VAR? It's a video review system. It's there to make the right decisions that maybe the on-field referee can't see. I've got no problem with the on-field referee not giving the Anthony Gordon penalty. I didn't think it was a penalty. Most Man United fans didn't think it was a penalty. But when you watch it back, you can clearly see Anthony Gordon gets clipped before the tackle from Casemiro. That is technically a foul, unfortunately. It wasn't given. I don't care about saying that as a Man United fan because we won. But I also don't care about saying it because we've had it happen to us loads of times this season, as have every other club. Newcastle aren't the victim. Man United aren't the offender. It's happened to everybody. The PGMOL and the Premier League are the offenders here. If you had VAR run properly, and we've been screaming for this for years, remove the protection of the referee on the pitch, remove subjectivity, and remove clear and obvious error. So what happened last night? That Anthony Gordon penalty, which the referee didn't see, they look at it in the VAR room and they don't think it's a penalty. They think about the referee's welfare and they go, really, he hasn't made an obvious mistake because in real time it doesn't look like a penalty, so let's stick with the referee. That's how they run VAR. They run VAR to protect the referee. They don't run it to protect you, the fan. They don't run it to protect the integrity of the game, and they don't run it to make it better for the clubs involved. VAR is a protection service for the referee. And when you figure that out, that's why you need to switch it off. Because it absolutely screws clubs, football and fans. So switch it off. Because in their own rule book, it's all about clear and obvious, which basically means protecting the referee's bad decisions. What VAR should have done is had a referees association and a VAR association. And they're not friends. They don't go out for dinner together. They don't call each other Ollie. They don't call each other Anto. They don't call each other any nicknames and they don't protect each other. You've got Mark Goldbridge and Robbie. AFTV, United Stand. Very different things. One of us run the referees. One of us run the VAR. When the referee makes a decision on the pitch, they listen in and I kick in and go, right, we'll take it from here. Your on-field decision, it's not a penalty. Are you sticking with that? That's what I've seen. I didn't see any contact. Fine. Okay, give us it. Right, look at it there. Okay, you can see why he hasn't seen it. That's fine. Doesn't really matter anyway. That's a penalty. Okay, we really think it's a penalty. We're going to show you the slow-mo if you want. Okay, I trust you, it's a penalty. Or, okay, I'll have a look at it. Okay, it's a penalty. That's how it should work. How does it actually work? All right, Ollie, mate. It's not a penalty. There's no way. We heard it with Doku. No way. Two people coming together. Not a penalty for me. Definitely not a penalty for me. Loading it up before it goes to there. Ollie really doesn't think it's a penalty, so let's have a look at it. Yeah, you can sort of see why he's saying it's not a penalty, even though he's seeing it in real time and he's got no time to really look at it again. Yeah, we'll stick with Ollie. Yeah, we'll stick with you, mate. That's how it's being run at the moment. I mean, I can't understand the idiocy of it. That's why you see a red card in one game and then the next game it's not. That's why you see a handball in one game and the next week it's not. It's the inconsistency because they're just protecting each other. Switch it off. Technology is there. I could run it well this weekend with you. Technology is fine. The technology is fine. The people running it are crap. They will not sort themselves out because they've not sorted themselves out all season. It's got worse from the Liverpool onside goal because they are arrogant and dictators and they don't listen to fans. And if the Premier League football clubs side with them over fans, it's an absolute disgrace. An absolute disgrace. It needs switching off because the system doesn't work on the people who are running it, and they will not change that and they will not sack themselves. So if the Premier League and the Premier League football clubs vote to keep VAR, contrary to Wolves' letter, and what Wolves have, and I would urge you to read that letter that Wolves put out. They've nailed it on every single point. If Premier League clubs vote Wolves down, they're a disgrace to football fans who've had to endure this shit all season, and they are signing with the PGMOL. And the PGMOL and the Premier League are basically not listening to fans. And if the clubs vote with them, they're not listening to fans either. What is going on in football? This is a massive opportunity for Premier League football clubs to vote with fans and say we want to switch it off. The Premier League won't switch it off anyway, but the clubs can vote with fans on this. It needs to be switched off for the last 5 minutes of what we've spoken there. It's not fit for purpose and they won't change it over the summer. Look, I'd happily get involved in helping them sort it out over the summer, but they're not going to listen to us fans. No chance. They haven't got a bloody clue what fans want. It needs switching off. And I'll repeat, to everybody who says don't switch it off, you are walking into another living nightmare next year. The technology is fine. The people running it will not change. So you switch it off. It's like having a weapon that could be really useful for mankind, but you know when you give it to mankind, they're going to destroy the world. Basically, that's what VAR is. The technology and the theory is fine. It's just in the hands of the wrong people. So when I look online and see people, we should vote to keep it because it's not the technology's fault. Technology in the wrong hands can destroy things, and that's what's happened. Take it away from them until they go off and figure out how to use it, and they're not going to do that in 2 months. Get your comments in below. It's a massive conversation. We've got a community vote tab as well. You can get involved in that. Massive conversation. Get your points in. There's so much more to discuss about it. Don't forget, we've got our podcast coming out later as well. Do give the podcast a listen. It's a massive one. I've been banned by a Premier League club. I suppose I might get banned by a few more for talking about stuff like this, but they've got to vote with the fans. But I'll be revealing on my podcast this afternoon which Premier League football club has banned me. I'm on their blacklist. It's official. It's true. It's no bait. It's not Man United. We'll listen to it later. Goldbridge saves football. Take care, everyone.